What's up guys? Today we're going to be working on the 91 S10 again. I think I finally have it running somewhat reliably, and as you can see I'm slowly getting it ready for paint, just filling in some dents and dings here and there. But today we're going to be focusing on the headlights. Sunset Auto was kind enough to sponsor this video and has provided me with these new LED headlights. So in the box we have some instructions, an adapter in case you need a different style of plug, and the headlights themselves. These also have integrated DRLs and turn signal. But before we install these, we should do a comparison of before and after. So here's what it's like driving at night currently. As you can see, the stock headlights are pretty dim, even with the brights on. Honestly, I was pretty afraid of driving at night with these. They do not shine very far ahead and do not spread out very wide either. Some of that could be fixed probably by properly aiming them, but I think you could only do so much. Anyway, let's get back to the install. First thing we need to do is remove the headlight bezels. Mine just had 3 screws holding it in, 1 Phillips, and 2 Torx T15. Then the side marker just twists out. Set that aside and we can just remove these 4 screws holding in the chrome trim around the headlight, and that will basically release the headlight entirely, so don't let it fall. Then we can just use a screwdriver to pry off the plug and it's free. One side note I just wanted to mention was about the headlight buckets. They're only held on by these 2 adjustment screws and then a spring underneath which provides tension against those screws. Mine is a little jacked up, but it still works. Usually. They can be a bear to hook onto the bottom here, but you'll get it eventually. Probably. Maybe. Alright, with that done we can just pop in the new headlights. The 2 extra wires here are for the DRL and blinker. Other than that it should just be plug and play. What's this? Doesn't fit? That's weird. Well, I discovered that these headlights have a minor design flaw. You'd think that since 5x7 headlights were on basically every car in this era, they'd have gotten the shape right for these aftermarket ones, but I guess not. The new headlights are basically just a square, while the original headlights come back in a dome shape. Well, not wanting to send these back, and since I had an extra headlight bucket laying around, I decided to try to modify them and see what I could figure out. I used paint to transfer the contact points, and then just got to chopping. The first time I went a little crazy and cut all the way around the bucket at the level of contact, but that turned out not to be the best I did because even when I did that, it didn't fit and I still had to cut away more material. Basically, anywhere where the dome started going in, I had to cut away. I thought all this chopping would be okay since the mounting points for the adjustment screws and the spring are on the front of the bucket, but it turned out to cause other problems. I did eventually get the headlight to fit in the quote-unquote bucket, but as you can see, when mounted on the vehicle, it sits way closer to the frame than standard. It's a good thing I had an extra bucket laying around because I found a way to remedy this on the next one. But I guess since I have the light on my truck, I may as well see if it works, and looks like it does. We have regular beams and high beams. Awesome. It's worth continuing. Alright, here's the cuts I devised to fix the fitment issues. Instead of cutting off the entire back end of the bucket, I just cut out these D shapes, and that worked perfectly. The headlight fits all the way in and maintains factory mounting distance. With that sorted out, I could mount both lights and figure out the wiring for the DRL and the blinker. So this light in the bumper here lights up for both a parking light and a blinker, so I thought I could just tap into it twice to make leads for both the DRL and the blinker in the headlight. It has 3 wires, 2 black and 1 blue. I figured the 2 blacks were for ground and just played Risk It Biscuit and chopped the blue wire. After wire nutting a lead on, I plugged into the blinker wire first to give it a shot. So you can see the bulb light up for the parking lights, and Boom, there we go, blinking. To test my theory, I switched the same lead into the DRL wire and nothing. I'm probably wrong about both black wires being ground. One is probably very dark gray and the other is black. But I never did figure out how to wire up the DRLs. I don't care too much about DRLs, but if you have any thoughts on the matter, make sure to vehemently let me know down below. Anyway, here's everything put back together and wired up. I actually do like the look of these more than I thought I would. You can see that everything I actually did wire up works. We have both blinkers, which is good because I have some burned out bulbs, and low beams and high beams. Now it's time to get our after footage for the comparison. But before going out, I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to blind anyone, so I did a quick comparison to my other car on the garage. I know it's not a good official test, but it showed me that I wasn't pointing up at the sky at least. I'll aim them properly later. And I don't know about you guys, but the light spread is way better on these. Here's a side-by-side with the old ones. I'm trying hard not to say it's a night and day difference, so I guess I won't. But dang, I can actually drive at night now. Big thanks again to Sunsen Auto for sponsoring this video. Check out the description below for a discount code to any auto parts you might be looking for. Thanks for watching.